President Bola Tinubu has sent heartfelt greetings to Christians in Nigeria and around the world. In his 2024 Christmas message, the president highlighted the significance of the season, describing it as the fulfillment of divine prophecy and a symbol of love, peace, and unity. Acknowledging recent tragedies in Ibadan, Okija, and Abuja, President Tinubu expressed his deepest sympathies to the affected families and prayed for an end to such misfortunes in Nigerian communities. He urged Nigerians to embrace kindness, compassion, and solidarity, especially during this festive season. The president called on all citizens to remember those in need, offering gestures of encouragement and support to uplift others during the celebrations. Less than a few hours to Christmas celebrations, Nigerians are making efforts to purchase food items in the nation's capital, Abuja. They've expressed frustration over the soaring prices of food items. News Central visited a market in Abuja where traders also expressed worry over the limited patronage of customers. Our correspondent Idong Joseph has more on this story.
Nigerians continue to voice their dissatisfaction with the rising cost of living, which many attribute to the removal of fuel subsidy by the current administration. This year's Christmas Eve expected to boast with a beehive of activities as customers make their last-minute purchases has been notably different, as businesses also say that they are experiencing little or no patronage due to the decreased purchasing power of customers.
Some like this one, a person go buy and one, but this year, three people don't go gather, buy one goes, don't go, when the rosa, don't go share into three. Because of the issue, because of the money, things just day one kind.
The price of this bottle now, last year, it was 1,200. It was 1,000, but now the price of this bottle now is 2,800. You can see the price where the thing increase. So the price they very, very high, and also it affects all the prices of all the food stuff.
Any Christmas, I will kill 10 goes 10. Now this Christmas, I know killing one.
Some residents who ventured out to make their last-minute purchases also share their thoughts.
Some of the fowl there is 36,000. Some of the, according to their sizes, some are 28,000. Some are 25. That's the least one. Even now, I priced one there. They tell me 32,000. I did not answer anything.
I even come to buy chicken. They say one chicken is 25,000, 30,000. So I can't even buy. That's why I'm just looking for some things to just manage myself.
While the current situation has dampened the festive atmosphere associated with Christmas, some traders and buyers are urging the government to intervene.
I know all the problem we are facing is because of the fuel price. So if the fuel price can come down, I believe all these things will come down.
Now the price of fuel from different places like Lagos, Port Harcourt, Enugu, if the price reduce, to be honest with you, it will make life more easier for people.
The poverty is much in Nigeria. Please, if you people know what you can do for Nigeria, let you people do it.
Despite these challenges, some of the customers say that they remain optimistic about celebrating the festivities. In Abuja for News Central, I am Idong Joseph.
Staying with preparations ahead of tomorrow, but this time going to Abia State. The frantic shopping continues even as others embark on trips to be with their families on the day. Although the usual festive fever associated with Christmas seems subdued, there are still those who must always defy all odds to mark the season. News Central's Chinwe Ugele returned to a popular market in Umuahia to know what has changed from her visit last week.
Obviously, there are more people in the market today than what it was a week ago. Even the traders confirm that there is an improvement in the influx of people to the market, but still lament that their presence does not reflect in the sales they make on a day like this.
Tomatoes, onions sold the worst. Rather, they will buy the dried onions, the one they package. They will not buy this fresh one, but some people are buying it. But the people are buying, the rates of the buyers are not high.
Expectedly, the cost of goods has soared as predicted, making it even more difficult for people to buy the basic things they need.
It's better maybe you buy market at a lower price and you sell in a higher price and you get higher benefits. But this one, if you buy in a higher price and if you are selling before you meet up to that target, the goods are finished and you don't get anything.
They had difficulties because of Ahia increase. Because Sonia's last week was 6,000. Almost now be at this Dela wear 7,000. On a good because I say God.
Get out of wars. I'm and the crowd. The worst.
But then there are those who have devised means of wooing customers to patronize them.
Oh my love, the heart of my heart. The only job that is on Patom Gamu Caribbean. So I'll be feeling the Emma now. Emma. Compliment of the best season in the world. Emma, what made it like we must survive. We must survive. We cannot make it. We must survive. We must survive. Oh, it hasn't reduced. We are still buying 300,000 naira. What about patronage? Are people coming to? Oh, God is so wonderful for our people.
Transporters had anticipated that the situation would improve by now, but that has not happened. The unusual quiet and calm of the motor parks on this 24th of December is a sign of the difficulty of the times.
There's also no traffic gridlock as a lot of people had anticipated. But whatever it is, some people are traveling, others are not. But then Christmas will be celebrated. In Umahia for News Central, I am Achimugu.
Away from that, human rights lawyer Dele Farotimi has been released from the Ado-Ekiti Custodial Center after several weeks in detention over alleged defamation. His arrest followed a petition by Afe Babalola, SAN. Although he was granted bail earlier this month by both the Federal High Court and the Magistrate Court in Ado-Ekiti, bureaucratic delays delayed his release. The Federal High Court had set a bail of 50 million naira with strict conditions, while the Magistrate Court subsequently granted him bail of 30 million naira, subject to additional restrictions, including the surrendering of his passport and a ban on media interviews. Farotimi's release was finalized following the verification of his surety's documents. His trial on charges of cybercrime and defamation is scheduled to continue in January 2025. I can also tell you that the Legal Practitioners Disciplinary Committee has dismissed a request by Afe Babalola's law firm, Emmanuel Chambers, to revoke the practicing license of lawyer and author Dele Farotimi over allegations of criminal defamation and professional misconduct. Farotimi was summoned before the LPDC following a petition filed by Olafaro, a lawyer with Emmanuel Chambers. The petition alleged that Farotimi, in his book Nigeria and Criminal Justice System, made defamatory statements against the Supreme Court and the legal profession. However, in its report, the LPDC concluded that the alleged offenses were committed by Farotimi in his capacity as an author, not as a practicing lawyer. The LPDC ruled that it lacked jurisdiction to handle complaints relating to publications and advised aggrieved parties to seek redress in the regular courts. To help put this in perspective, we're joined by legal practitioner Valerian Wadike. Valerian, thank you for joining us. Let's establish for our viewers the powers of the Legal Practitioners Disciplinary Committee, LPDC.
Thank you for having me. The LPDC is headed by its chairman, Justice Isaac Usman Bello. So they are saddled with the responsibility of, well, I say, checkmating the activities of legal practitioners in Nigeria. If any legal practitioner, strictly so-called, commits actions in breach of the rules of the professional conduct, such legal practitioner would be petitioned to LPDC, that is Legal Practitioner Disciplinary Committee, to, look into the matter and suspend, debar, or act in any way or manner that the LPDC so desires after hearing both sides, of course.
Okay, I want to ask, from a layman's perspective, I mean, they must have thought there was some merit in a case to take to the LPDC. They would argue that the issue at stake has to do with the law. There are allegations that his book caused defamation and pain to certain individuals in the legal profession and calls to question the credibility of the legal profession. That should give some authority to the committee.
Yeah, but like you rightly quoted, you quoted the chairman, Justice Isaac Usman. He stated that the publication is an intellectual property and not a conduct or action committed while the person is a practicing lawyer or a legal practitioner. In other words, they cannot come after someone acting in his capacity as an author. So Mr. Delefarotimi, in his capacity as an author, wrote all those things. So the chairman, Justice Isaac, said specifically, and I quote, that the publication is an intellectual property and not a conduct or action committed while practicing as a legal practitioner, and all are grievances in the regular court. So what it's saying in essence is that it lacked jurisdiction to act on actions of individual acting in their individual capacity as whatever that they are. However, if the individual is acting in his capacity as a legal practitioner, then it might assume jurisdiction to now entertain
All right.
such
What would be the
petitions.
purpose, actually? Farotimi is already facing defamation allegation, and the case is up for hearing in January, though now he is on bail. What would be the purpose, in your thinking, to have him disbarred over defamation?
Well, I might not specifically be in the mind of the petitioner, but I think it might have something to do with a case Mr. Delefarotimi quoted. I think he mentioned specifically a matter he handled between, I think, when His Royal Highness Adeyemi or so. So where he mentioned about bribery, corruption, up to the Supreme Court. So that might be from the area this petitioner might bring such action against him to the LPDC for them to, look into the matter, maybe disbar him. But LPDC is saying that they do not have that jurisdiction, meaning they don't have that power.
Okay, I think you've established
descend into
that.
the arena.
Yeah, you've established that. We're out of time for this conversation, but quickly, it is reported that Farotimi spoke briefly to the media when he was released. Would that be in violation, do you think, of some of the conditions that was given by the court? I mean, media interviews were put as one of the restrictions for bail.
Well, with all due respect to the Honorable Court, I still believe the Constitution grants everybody freedom of expression. So far, he's not committing any crime in so doing, and his defense team might know how to establish what he did, or establish the interview he granted.
All right, Valerian, thank you so much for speaking with us. We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Yes, despite all, Merry Christmas. If you've just joined us, you're watching Tonight. A reminder of our top stories. Nigerians make last-minute preparations despite harsh economy ahead of Christmas. Legal Practitioners Disciplinary Committee dismisses request to revoke practicing license of human rights lawyer Dele Farotimi over allegation of defamation. Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority initiates enforcement action against 5 airlines for various violations. In Mozambique's opposition accuses top court of legalizing fraud for confirming election results. Let's bring you update on the Stampede in Ibadan. A chief magistrate, Olabisi Ogunkomi, has ordered the remand of prophetess Naomi Silekumola, the former wife of the Oni of Ife, Oriyomi Hamzat, the owner of Agidigbo FM, and Fasasi Abdullahi, the principal of Basharu Islamic High School at the Agodi Correctional Facility. The remand is pending advice from the Director of Public Prosecutions at the Oyo State Ministry of Justice. The 3 individuals were arraigned on Tuesday before Chief Magistrate Court 1 in Ibadan on a 4-count charge of conspiracy, culpable homicide, negligence causing harm, and failure to provide adequate security and medical facilities. The court premises were tense as Hamzat supporters gathered in large numbers. However, a heavy security presence ensured order was maintained. Staying with court matters, the Federal High Court in Abuja has directed the Nigerian police to either arraign Olamide Thomas within 48 hours or release her unconditionally, declaring her prolonged detention a violation of her fundamental rights. Justice Abdullahi Liman issued the ruling on Monday following a lawsuit filed by Thomas against the Inspector General of Police, IGP, Kayode Egbetokun. Thomas, a vocal advocate for civil liberties, claimed she was abducted by police in Lagos and transferred to Abuja under questionable circumstances. Thomas is also facing separate criminal charges over alleged comments made on social media, including accusations of threatening President Bola Tinubu's son, Sheyi Tinubu, and senior police officials. The human rights case will continue on January 6, 2025, while the criminal case is scheduled for December the 30th. Members of the Islamic movement of Nigeria, also known as Shiites, say that they have initiated a 200 million naira lawsuit against the Inspector General of Police, the Nigerian Police Force, and the Attorney General of the Federation. They say that this was necessitated by the continuous disruption of their religious activities by security operatives, an infringement of their fundamental rights as citizens. My colleague Amadine Uyi has more in this report.
Members of the Islamic movement of Nigeria engaged in one of their activities in the Federal Capital Territory. However, in recent times, activities like this are no longer allowed, as the group was proscribed during the last administration. They are, however, accusing the Nigeria Police Force and the federal government of denying them the freedom to carry out their religious obligations as enshrined in the nation's constitution.
It is pertinent to inform the public that on Saturday, 14th December 2024, we had made all necessary preparations or arrangements for the commemoration of the 9th anniversary of the 2015 Zaria massacre, which would have taken place at High Event and Conference Hall.
We have every right to carry out our religious activities, but the government, despite the fact that this government has subjected the whole masses into abject poverty and hunger, into so many problems, but now it's trying to start attacking us.
Senior members of the group say that they have commenced the process of seeking justice through the courts.
To challenge these unlawful actions of the police, we have filed a lawsuit against the Inspector General of Police, the Nigerian Police Force, and the Attorney General of the Federation. In the lawsuit, we applied for a court declaration that the disruption of the birthday of Said Ahmad Zakzaki, organized at Decency Event Center, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja, on 13th October 2024, and the treatment meted out on us by the police was and is still illegal, unlawful, null and void, and amounts to a gross violation of our rights.
One of our top stories tonight, the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority has initiated enforcement action against 5 airlines, including 2 international and 3 domestic operators. They were sanctioned for various violations of Part 19 of the NCAA regulations, including non-payment of refunds within the stipulated time frame, non-responsiveness to the NCAA's directives, missing luggage, mishandled luggage, short-landed baggage, delayed and cancelled flights, among others. Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, NCAA, Michael Achimugu, disclosed this while speaking to journalists at the corporate headquarters of the authority in Abuja on Tuesday. He said that although airlines are not always responsible for flight disruptions, NCAA regulations stipulate that actions that airlines must take during disruptions. Failure to comply attracts various levels of sanctions. 2024 could be described as a momentous one, and as the year draws to a close, Nigeria stands at a critical juncture, reflecting on progress made and challenges that stare the country in the face. News Central will be bringing you a series of reports on Nigeria's key sectors, from the economy to judiciary, healthcare, education, and energy, among others, offering in-depth insights and analysis of the major trends, achievements, and obstacles that have defined the year. Tonight, we are assessing President Tinubu's efforts in tackling insecurity. Efforts by his administration have seen some positive developments, particularly in the northeastern part of the country, ravaged by terrorism for many years. The government's focus on clearing remnants of insurgent groups has led to the surrender of thousands and resettlement of displaced communities. However, data from SBM intelligence paints a grim picture of overall security in the country, as more than 7,000 people lost lives in violent attacks, with close to 300 security personnel among the fatalities. Over 2 trillion naira was paid to victims of kidnapping incidents, according to the National Bureau of Statistics, from May 2023 to April 2024. News Center's Umaru Kirawa assesses present realities in security management.
A historic day for these families as they smile into new homes after 10 years of displacement and depending on handouts at IDP's camp.
Nelefa
isna da ibarin ne gante ne and ya kwazin mu ko indin kalkal logozna alhamdulillah shira askirin yana.
While the northeast Nigeria has shown signs of stabilization, with thousands of insurgents surrendering, abducted persons rescued, so many communities are yet to be resettled. The northwest of Nigeria remains a hotbed of security situations, with frequent attacks on both civilians and security forces.
Generally, nobody feels secure and safe in this country. Recently, the military came out to say that they have discovered a new terrorist group, Lakurawa. But the reality of the situation is that they have been there for a very long time. I think there is a challenge in terms of how intelligence is gathered, interpreted, and shared to engineer action.
Efforts by the multinational Joint Task Force in the Lake Chad has led to increased access to farmlands and businesses, but the threat to withdraw from the MNJTF by Chad due to the murder of its troops by insurgents raises a lot of questions.
The military operational crackdown that was launched by the Chadian government against some insurgents in the Lake Chad region of the Chadian part, and we learned that a lot of insurgents are crossing over to Nigerian territory, and they've been attacking some sub-target and some military facilities in some part of Borno and Yobe state. So other than that, generally speaking, Borno and Northeast in general has witnessed relative peace.
Quite a number of them have surrendered.
definitely you know some of them will not want to surrender. So Operation Leg Sanity 2 is for those that have refused to heed to the call. That's where we are using the kinetic means. So we are using other strategies apart from the kinetic. We have also constructed over 95 community projects, quick impact projects in the 4 countries.
What we have seen before, inshallah, will not see it in the future, because our security are doing well, and the journey so far, our civilian JTF, our people, they are even on self-defensive now, because most of them, they have their cutlasses, sticks, and what have you at home. So once they say Boko Haram is around, they will just come out and attack Boko Haram.
1st to 10th of August 2024 witnessed a nationwide aid bad governance protest on the cost of food and the rise of fuel price due to fuel subsidy removal that led to tension, chaos, and unfortunately, some Nigerians paid the supreme price.
The year under review, that is 2024, has been a very critical moment for Nigerians in terms of socio-economic situations. People have been battling with inflation for food to eat, for livelihood. So these are some of the pull factors that lead to insecurity.
We have to do something about the Nigeria police force, improve the quality in the Nigeria police force.
Statistics from SBM Intelligence reveals that more than 7,000 people lost their lives in violent attacks, with close to 300 security personnel among the fatalities.
The recent attacks to officers and men in Kareto by Boko Haram members will not deter us from our resettlement drives.
Sensationist activities in the southeast, where sit-at-home are being enforced, and the Okwama saga in Delta State of South Nigeria, where 17 soldiers were ambushed and murdered on March 14, 2024, and subsequent ransack of the riverine community, remains unforgettable.
8th of May 2024, the military have withdrawn from Okwama. With this development, the people of Okwama can now safely return to their homes and begin the process of reintegration and rebuilding their homes.
We have reappraised our strategies. We're going to bring in more impetus into our operations, bring in more platforms to support the soldiers so that they can do their work well.
As Nigerian authorities grapples with security challenges, the Army headquarters says it has successfully arrested over 11,000 and exterminated about 8,000 terrorists and rescued 600 kidnapped persons in the year 2024. But experts say much really needs to be done to address some of the security challenges in the country. From Maimalari military cantonment in Maiduguri for News Central, Umaru Kirawa.
To help us review this, we're joined by former Director, Department of State Security, Dennis Amakre. Dennis, thank you for joining us on the news. A couple of key things. Ordinarily, I will begin by asking you to assess the government in 1 year, but some would argue that 1 year might not be enough time to be assessing an administration. But I wanted to speak on some of the key issues that was raised by my colleague in that report, and one of them was the Lakurawa terrorist group and the surrendering of terrorists to the security agencies. These are two things that stand out this year. The military just days ago also said that they have effectively exterminated Lakurawa from Nigeria. What is your assessment of the handling of some of these issues by the military in the year 2024?
Thank you very much, Felicity. You know, this problem has been with us for so long, and yes, from your reporter, you know, he has said it all. The present security team are doing very well, but they, you know, still need more to be done, because when we look at it, people are still dying. There are many reports that are coming up. Kidnapping is still going on. And of course, we have these bandits still around. I don't agree that Lakurawa has been eliminated totally, because there might be vestiges of them around in the ungoverned spaces. I believe that until we take over those ungoverned spaces, and make sure that, yes, it is so free that farmers can go to their farms and nobody is coming around to either rustle cattle, then we will say, okay. But they are doing, it's a continuous thing. So I don't want to give 100%, but I think they're doing very well, especially in the Northeast. I think the Northeast is really calmer than what we had last year.
From your vantage point as a security analyst, how do you react to the president's comment that the military, the entire security architecture has been restructured? Is that reflective in the actions that are being taken? Because you seem to be giving them some credit for some good work in 2024.
Yes, I am very impressed with the present leadership of the security chiefs right now. That is the Chief of Defense Staff, Army, Navy, and Air Force, the DSS Director General. I think they are doing very well. The police needs to be, although there are some restructuring going there where they are bringing in new equipment for them, I think the police need to, either get more people, recruit more people, because they are totally and drastically, shortchanged. And maybe the creation of state police is going to help us, because we really need enough policemen, on ground to take care of the security situation. And like your professor in Medugri said, they need to be more trained, to do most of their job. All this one we're seeing soldiers around is not for soldiers to be meddling in internal security. It's police job, and I think the police should, own up and then come forth and do what they have to do.
Before I let you go, were there any security initiative by this administration that stood out for you or that stands out for you in 2024?
Yes, I was pleasantly surprised when I saw what the Minister for Interior has done. And that platform right there, the control center, which monitors all the passengers that are coming into Nigeria and those who are leaving, I think it's one thing that we would have got some years back. But now we have it. And I want them to extend it, because this one is for the recognized entry and exit points, which are the international airports. We want them to extend it to those unmanned borders, where most of our problems are coming in. But for the money they've spent and for setting it up, I think the police also have some kind of control center, which is very, very helpful. And I know that the DSS itself has intensified their covert operations, which of course you will not hear on TV, but most of the successes you're hearing right now are from those kind of operations. So yes, I think they are doing something as compared to last year or the year before last, because right now I think they have to keep to their key performance in the index.
Thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you for having me.
Glad you're still here. Mozambique's opposition leader, Venancio Mondlane, says the country's top court is legalizing fraud after it confirmed on Monday the ruling party's victory in a disputed October vote. According to the proclamation by Mozambique's Constitutional Council, Venancio Mondlane of the opposition secured 24.19%. Osufu Momadi received 6.62% and Lutero Simango 4.02%. Since the results were announced, protests have turned violent, with buildings set ablaze and roads blocked. The unrest stems from allegations of electoral fraud, which have sparked weeks of demonstrations. Security forces have reportedly killed dozens of protesters during these clashes. Let's join our business desk for today's update.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
In business, we begin in Mozambique. Gemfields Group warned Tuesday of potential disruptions at its Mozambican ruby mine following escalating unrest linked to the country's disputed election. Investigators have targeted the company's assets, including an office and community center, amid ongoing clashes between security forces and opposition groups. The unrest has raised concerns about the safety of Gemfields employees and operations in the region. The company said it is closely monitoring the situation and taking necessary precautions to ensure the safety of its personnel and protect its assets. The mine, which employs 1,400 people, is now at risk of interruptions as tensions continue to escalate. And crude oil prices climbed on Tuesday, with Brent crude rising 1% to $73.37 per barrel, and WTI crude gaining 1.1% to $69.98, driven by a positive short-term market outlook. Analysts cited improving oil demand expectations, supply adjustments, and China's planned $411 billion stimulus as factors supporting prices. Sparta Commodities highlighted breaking consensus over long-term oil balances, while Luanda noted strong U.S. economic data as additional support. Holiday-themed trading volumes tempered the rally, with traders awaiting clarity on 2024's global oil dynamics. The market remains sensitive to potential supply disruptions that could trigger further price spikes. And in the United States, major U.S. banks and trade groups have filed a lawsuit against the Federal Reserve, alleging its annual stress tests violate proper administrative procedures. Plaintiffs, including the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, claim the Fed's confidential models for assessing capital adequacy lack transparency and accountability. While acknowledging the importance of stress tests for financial stability, the lawsuit seeks to mandate public consultation on the scenarios and methodologies used. The move reflects growing pushback against regulatory powers following Supreme Court decisions limiting administrative authority. The banking industry argues for reforms that balance oversight with fairness and legal compliance. And finally, China plans a record 3 trillion yuan issuance of special treasury bonds in 2025 to revive its slowing economy. The funds are expected to support consumption, industrial upgrades, and innovation-driven sectors. The unprecedented issuance highlights Beijing's commitment to counter deflationary pressures and an expected tariff hike by the U.S. Chinese treasury yields rose slightly on the news, with analysts calling the move a positive step to sustain growth. The issuance of special treasury bonds is a key part of China's economic stimulus package, which is aimed at boosting growth and creating jobs. The Chinese government is also taking other measures to support the economy, such as cutting interest rates and increasing infrastructure spending. And that's a package in business news at this time. Thank you for watching. I am Perpetua Fasnomi Peter. The news continues shortly.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
And now in entertainment tonight. In the spirit of Christmas, award-winning Nigerian performer Yemi Alade took to the streets of Mende, Lagos, Nigeria to put smiles on the face of several families. Fans of Mama Africa, as fondly called, have since reacted to her act of kindness, showering the entertainer with love and admiration. It's no doubt the economy has been tough on many homes this year, and Yemi Alade said it's always been her desire to help those in need, and this year's Christmas was a perfect timing for her. Recall that it's been a great year for the Johnny hitmaker, marking her first Grammy Award nomination in her over a decade-long music career. Yemi is nominated in the Best African Music Performance category ahead of the award ceremony set for February 2025. we continue to celebrate her passion for advocacy and humanitarian activism over the years. On the international scene, New Mexico prosecutors announced that they will not pursue an appeal of a court decision to dismiss involuntary manslaughter charges against Alec Baldwin in the fatal shooting of cinematographer Helena Muchkins on the set of Rust in October 2021. Special Prosecutor Carrie Morrissey withdrew the appeal after a July ruling by Judge Mary Malloy-Summer, which followed allegations that evidence was withheld from the defense. Baldwin's lawyers hailed the decision as a vindication, asserting that Baldwin committed no crime. The case had been disrupted by revelations that ammunition related to the shooting was found by the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office but not disclosed to the defense. Prosecutors had deemed the ammo irrelevant, while Baldwin's defense argued it was buried in a separate file. The district attorney's office acknowledged that efforts to continue the case were hindered by several barriers. Baldwin, who was holding the gun when it fired, has denied pulling the trigger. Meanwhile, other individuals involved in the accident involving the movie's weapons supervisors had faced convictions for their role in the tragedy. Civil lawsuits from Hutchins families are ongoing, and the incident has led to industry-wide discussions on films' set safety.
Up next is Sports Update.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
Hello and welcome. This is Sports News. The Monade Okoya Thomas Indoor Sports Hall of the Tessin Balogun Stadium was the epicenter of some exciting table tennis action with the 10th edition of the Elikris Table Tennis Cup, which concluded today. Hope Udwaka clinched the women's singles title, defeating Sukurat Ayali-Begon 4-2 in the thrilling final. In the men's category, there was a major shock in one of the semi-finals after Daniel Ford Elite Championships winner Abdul Basit Abdul Fatai was thrashed 3-0 by Muiz Adegoke from Lagos. In the final, Adegoke raced to a 2-0 lead against Matthew Kuti, only to lose by 4-2. Kuti had lost the final by the Daniel Ford Elite Championships on Saturday and was elated to win a title so soon afterwards.
I feel good, I feel okay, I just feel happy, that's just it. I didn't expect winning the competition at first because I don't normally train. I just left school a few weeks ago just to practice for 1 week, and doing performing like this, I didn't expect myself to perform, but at least I'm grateful to God that I could do something like
this week. I don't understand. I lost in final under 19 from 3-1 down. Catch me 3-3. So I lead 5-1 and he still beats me. So I tell myself that there's a tournament on Monday. So I will try my best and I will not grieve for any.
Honestly, this tournament has been of the highest standards. Bearing in mind, we gathered together the top 32 players. And one interesting thing about it was that the top 32 players were made up of the top 16 of the senior and top 16 of the junior. So it's been a mix and it's been a blend. And we saw quite a number of upsets, some of the junior players beating the senior players. I think this development and this kind of tournament can only be good for table tennis in Nigeria.
The chairman of the National Sports Commission, Shehu Diko, has announced that all Nigerian sports clubs representing the country in international competitions will now receive financial assistance from the federal government. Speaking at an event while unveiling the 2025 budget for the Commission, Diko revealed that the government has approved funds to support these clubs, ensuring they are better equipped for global engagements. Additionally, Diko confirmed that all sports federations will receive annual financial aid to ease the financial burden of their operations. This initiative is part of a broader effort to enhance sports development and ensure Nigerian teams and federations have the resources needed to excel both locally and internationally. The federal government has allocated 3 billion naira to establish a presidential support group to bolster Nigeria's bid for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. With President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's approval, this initiative aims to revive the Super Eagles' struggling qualification campaign for the tournament in the US, Canada, and Mexico. The Eagles sit fifth in their 6-team group, securing just 3 points from 4 matches, facing the prospect of missing back-to-back World Cups. The PSG will provide resources, administrative backing, and strategic support to reinvigorate the team. Funds will cover training camps, international friendlies, a foreign coach's salary, and logistical needs, ensuring the Super Eagles are well prepared for the crucial qualifiers ahead. Switzerland Olympic snowboarder Sophie Heidegger has died in an avalanche aged 26, the Swiss Ski Federation said on Tuesday. The member of the Swiss national snowboard cross team was caught up in the incident at the mountain resort of Arosa on Monday. Heidegger competed at the 2022 Winter Olympics in China and claimed 2 World Cup podium finishes in the 2023-24 season. The federation, meanwhile, said it could keep further details about her death private, as agreed with her family and partner. For News Central Television, Okpeoluwa Adebari.
That's all tonight. But before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories. Nigerians make last-minute preparations despite harsh economy ahead of Christmas. Legal Practitioners Disciplinary Committee has dismissed request by Afe Babalola's firm to revoke the practicing license of human rights lawyer Dele Farutimi over allegation of defamation. We also told you that Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority has initiated enforcement action against 5 airlines for various violations. And Arthur assures Mozambique's opposition has accused top court of legalizing fraud for confirming election results. You can catch up on all the latest stories by watching News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and on YouTube. Many thanks, as always, for watching. Let's prioritize safety as we go about celebrating the Yuletide. Good night.